Welcome back, everyone. This is Starnld with another edition of Tier 6 skirmishes with W UNI, and today we have a bunch of skirms followed by a very special game by Slappy in his jumbo. We're going to start against SHAQ on Ruinberg, and the strat to use lately seems to be a run down the middle of the map. That's been happening in Tier 6, Tier 8, and Tier 10. I'm going to send my two light tanks out to the field, and the rest of us are going to go right up the middle on the road here, at least until we figure out what's going on. So we're all here. The light tanks spot the Thunderbolt in the back. That implies that they are doing some sort of camp. We cross the road here. We don't see them crossing on the left. And for now, we're going to keep pushing up, see what else we can see. The light tanks are going to start pushing up to zero line. We see the T-50-2. Everybody starts shooting at him. Watch his driving here. He gets hit, but he's driving up and down and left and right and bouncing all over the place. And we only hit him once. So what to do? So they have a camp. We don't really want to push into the camp from this side. I don't feel it's a strong way to push in with all the tanks. So we're going to circle around and see if we can get a little more open territory from the other side. Now at this point we've pretty much all dropped our spots and we're going to reposition. See me clicking the map. I'm going to leave the light tanks out there. They're going to hopefully get cross shots and maybe spot some stuff for us. Or as soon as we spot stuff, they'll have the cross shots. They're both very good players, so I trust them not to risk their lives unnecessarily out there. Most of our takes take the short way. They run into this Cromwell here. Mini dump in his A43 went the long way. I'm going to go support him over there. And you see now they're collapsing on us, and our light tanks are going to start collapsing on them. Most of these guys are shooting our guys in the other alley. That frees us up to shoot them. Right now we're up a tank. They get punished hard for that crossing there. And now suddenly we're up by 3 tanks. At this point it's pretty much over. And our Type 37, our Type 64 and T-37 are going after the Type 58 here, while the rest of us are getting the Thunderbolt. And the Type 58 had a good position. He decided to start chasing after the T-37, and the Type 64 ends up killing him. He did get the T-37, but... Oh no, he didn't get the T-37. He should have just stayed where he was, but the game was over then, so it didn't really make much of a difference. Now we're going up against the same clan again, SHAQ. A whole different map. We're on Sandriver. They have the more easily defended side with the sniper's nest over in F1. I'm going to send the light tanks to play the dunes on the top, and the rest of us are going to come down the bottom. Now what we know about this map, if they put people in the sniper's nest, it's very difficult to push it unless you have a lot of numbers. So we're going to see how that plays out. And it takes us a little while to get into position. We spot the T-50-2. That's just their scout. Doesn't really mean a whole lot at this point. And you note an interesting thing here. Touchy goes way up high, as does Laser Tank there, to try to get shots on that T-50-2. That'll give you an angle over top of some of the dunes, which sometimes have a lot of effect there. Now we spot a good majority of their mediums over on the other side. And we don't want to overcommit here because it'll be difficult to get back and our light tanks will be overmatched. Meanwhile, we have the T-50-2. And that wasn't all their tanks, so I'm going to send some of us back to defend. And we're going to send some forward. We're going to keep the light tanks doing their thing. And we're going to send the A-43 and the VK-30 to chase down the 50-2. When we see that 30-45 light up on the mini-map in the sniper's nest, I tell them not to chase. They can take their shots, but not to chase. And you see they're having trouble deciding what to do. I'm having trouble deciding whether we want to go push or if we want to go defend. Finally, I decide we're going to go just the way we have it. We have 3 pushing and 3 defending, with a light tank in the middle, kind of spotting everything. The Type 64 is going to go up, get under the sniper's nest here. While he's doing that, he lights up the Thunderbolt. And they're going to play out their little battle on the other half. The Thunderbolt's coming to help them in the sniper's nest. I'm going to try to do an airstrike here. I changed my mind. This guy's moving around too much, but the Thunderbolt's coming. Change the angle of it, get the ramp, assuming the Thunderbolt's getting up there, and we launch it. And you'll see the readout right above the mini-map. We get the Thunderbolt. That was nice. I don't often manage to hit anything with the airstrikes, or for the RD for that matter. But that was that helped us out a bit here. So here we have one Cromwell in the ditch underneath us. He pops up here. I'm not certain what they were thinking of doing here, just pushing 2 tanks towards our cabin. Maybe they didn't know we were here. But once they saw us here, they really should have both backed off and run. And we do a number on the one guy, finish him off, and the other guy takes off down into the ditch. And we've definitely got numbers here. So I call out, we want to take this guy out. We don't want him to live. Meanwhile, our VK owns the sniper's nest. Our Type 64 is chasing the 50-2. VK is outnumbered, but he has a better position than everybody else. And our Type 64 loses. And we need to hurry up and finish this guy off. So it's an even battle right now, although we got numbers. We're going to get up by 1 here. And the VK's got, like I said, got a better position, but he's way outnumbered. I'm asking Slappy to try to go up there and support him. The rest of us are going to go. We were going to go in the ditch, but instead we decide to take a right here and see if we can take out that Type 58. Because he's isolated, got no support. And Laser Tank at the VK is doing the best he can. Again, way outnumbered. And we failed to stop the Type 58. You see Laser gets set on fire, and he falls off the cliff. He manages to survive that fire. And now we have 3 very healthy tanks. You can see they're not all that healthy. Plus we still have the VK who dies right there, and we have the Type 37, the T-37. I try to get some shots in on the sides here. Get spotted by that and shot by the 30-45 in the sniper's nest. I tried to stay long enough to get the kill. I paid for that and missed, ricocheted the bounce. And Touchy gets a kill. Touchy's got 4 kills. When did those all happen? So I don't want to push out here because of the sniper. And our guys are getting shots. And another Touchy kill for 5. So we know where the last enemy is. Slappy's going to go up the left side. I'm going to go up the right side. And we have 2 tanks behind us still. He goes down to meet Slappy. They exchange shots, and it looks like he rammed him. He rammed Slappy. I'm coming up behind him. He doesn't know I'm here. And 3045 has never been known as much of a hilltopper. Here I come across the hill, and he tracks me. Excellent play on his part. I can't get enough gun depression to shoot him, so I'm dead meat here. But look, we got 2 guys coming up behind him. And I finally get repaired, and he finishes me, but Touchy gets the last kill again. 6 kills for Touchy Feely. Top gun, yay, in a skirmish. There's only 7 tanks, not bad. Here we move on to Abbey. We're going to play BTT. And we have pretty much the same setup. 2 light tanks, a VK and A43 and 3045s. They have a Cheeto Firefly, Thunderbolt, and 2 light tanks. So their medium heavies are actually a little heavier than ours. The Thunderbolt's got thick armor. The Firefly's pretty thick too. And we're going to start off, and I want to own the Abbey, so I send the A43 and the 2 light tanks there. I'm not sure if that was the right play. The A43 maybe should have stuck with us. I didn't want to get our light tanks isolated against their light tanks, so I really wanted to have them have the extra support. I felt like we could hold out up here long enough for them to finish that and come to us if necessary. It doesn't necessarily play out the way I wanted. We spot the T-37, that's okay. He's not being aggressive. I think around this point the A43 is telling me he's getting shot by something. I'm not sure what. And if he was, he didn't click it on the map. That we pay for that a little bit later. Now we're going to hit this corner. We're going to be patient. Hope for some first shots. And you notice that our aircraft are ready for bombing. Almost as soon as we get lit here, Touchy-Feely says we're in a really good position to get artilleried. And we start moving around, and you'll see it happen, and you'll hear it happen. So we're still being patient, waiting for them. Our Type 64 T-37 are off the other side trying to get lights. This took a little longer to develop than any of us really expected. And there's the Cheeto and the Thunderbolt. Touchy makes his comment. We get spotted, so we're gonna move around a little bit. See if you hear it in the background, the arty strike. Right there, you heard the arty strike. Slappy loses on the far side to the T-50-2. I think Odad took a big hit from the... was Odad in this one? Somebody took a big hit from the arty strike there. Our Type 64 finishes off the 50-2. And remember when Mini Dump said he was getting shot? There's a tank that was shooting him. And our Type 64 kind of runs right into it and gets tracked here and gets finished off. And I don't believe he puts any damage into that tank. So that was a kind of a bad play on our part, all around. Didn't communicate properly. And at this point, we need to push. If we're going to have numbers, it's now because we know where 2 of their tanks are. So we push into this. We light the Cheeto. We need to focus on him. And I need to be careful here that I don't back into that 30-45 shots. The laser tank's got the health, so we tell him to go forward first. Finish him off. We took a little more damage doing that than we thought. Here I go bouncing off the Thunderbolt. 1. That's just a track, so that's 2. Third one was green, but just a track. That's 3. Then I got driven. My SHAQ is driven in front of. That's 4. That one bounced. We wonder why we lost. In comes the Firefly to rescue him. We finally landed some shots on the Thunderbolt. Sure, no problem hitting the Firefly. Now right now we're down the tank. Our A-43 is chasing the T-37. We finish off the Firefly. This guy is smart and shoots me because I was low health. And the light tank and the A-43 killed each other. So now it's even, and one of their 3485s is not in the battle yet, but we are very low health. And Touchy, kind of on his own here, decides that he's going to take a shot in order to free up Monks to get a shot. Unfortunately, that didn't work out very well. The other guy high rolled, we low rolled, and etc., etc. So the RNG wasn't with us there. So we ended up losing that one. That was one I think we could have won. We had some individual mistakes that we had there. So now on to Himmelsdorf. We're going to play one STTB. They have 2 heavy tanks, 2 Cromwells, a bunch of 3045s, so they don't have any eyes. We're going to send our eyes up to the middle to spot, and then to the left, and then back to the Banana Road to check that for us. I fully expect them to camp. They don't meet my expectations, but that was the plan, was to play as if they're going to camp. And we're going to put 2 tanks on the G3 corner. The rest of us are going to go off to the left into the railways, but against the buildings. And we see the 3 3045s going up towards the middle. Not sure what their intent is yet. Cromwell's playing the opposite corner from us. Odes starts pushing up a little before we were ready, but I think we decide here, we got the 3 tanks in the middle, we could safely go take those Cromwells. Right now we're just pushing up a little bit, we're not going all the way up. Kind of daring them to poke at us. We don't know where the heavy tanks are yet, so we don't want to push unnecessarily. That Cromwell gets lit and shot by the guys on the 3 line. And now our light tank spots the heavies on Banana Road, and I say, go get the Cromwells. We got 4 tanks barreling in on the Cromwells here. 2 tanks waiting for the other guys to cross. Now we all go in, swarm them, share our damage. And then the 3045s come to try to cross to get us, and as they're crossing, they're getting shot by other guys down the other end. And we're just ignoring the 2 heavy tanks. One on the counter for 3045. Just about finished this one off. And we were going to go get the KV2, but then this 3045 pops up behind us, so we go take him on first. That wasn't a bad move, trying to flank like that. It's just too bad he was a little bit too late. His buddies died too soon. Now we got the 2 heavies. We got a couple tanks on the road, just kind of playing with them, and the rest of us are going to go around the back and try to flank them. No sense taking them head on when you can flank. Now the original plan here was going to be to go all the way down to the crossroad at 8. I see the KV2 trying to push up a little bit, and at the last second I decided we're going to take the 7 line. That's why you see us almost collide right there. It was very much a last second decision. And here we come. He's looking at us, to his credit, but there's too many for him to take on. We finish him off, and the other 2 guys turn on the heavy tank number 6, and we finish that off. Now, from their point of view, they separated their heavy tanks. They had no support whatsoever. The Cromwells kind of could have been supported by the 3045s a little bit, but those heavy tanks were just completely out of the battle for most of the battle, so it's not really recommended to keep any tanks that separated. And now we have STD, and we're going to play Abbey again. And this one plays out much differently than the last one. And I'm looking at their lineup, and they've got 3 heavy tanks. Typically, a lot of teams with 3 heavies like that are going to go play the BC2-3 area and own that ridge and wait for us to cross and take us out as we're crossing. I don't really want to engage them up there. I don't think we have the armor for that. So we're going to do something a little different and go River Road. I can probably count the number of times we've gone River Road on one hand, especially with a slower lineup like this. Sometimes we might do it with a fast lineup. And where the biggest way that this plan could go wrong is if they come River Road too, in which case we're kind of trapped because we're isolated in this little tiny road, and it's hard to get separated enough to get cross shots on them and such. So we have no idea where they are. We're going to try to go up the River Road. I've communicated my worries and my fears. I'm going to pull off a little bit here. I don't want to be in the front because I am the artillery guy. And we spot a 30-45 there, which is not good now. It means that they know we're coming. I'm going to send those first two guys up the top. I want to try to get a couple of guys to go. I'm sorry, the first two guys are going to keep going River Road. I'll try to get a couple of guys to go left here and go up and go around. Mini up gets finished off by the OI, so now we know the OI is back there with the 30-45. So we know two tanks are back there. We don't know where anything else is. And this was probably a bad decision, although it works out. I see they get lit there. So I call for the two of us to try to flank them. The reason I say it's probably a bad decision, and I pause to launch the Artie here for a second. OI is always a good chance to hit the Artie on him. If they were off on the left waiting for shots, they would spot us doing this. They didn't spot the light tanks though, so at that point I know it's much safer. And I tell the guys over there, just play a little poke game, but don't get shot. We're coming. We're going to get them from the back. The light tanks are taking shots at them. And again, that's only 3 tanks. So we don't know where their other tanks are. Now we take on this 30-45. The Bisc comes out of hiding, so we need to finish him off. Then we can start shooting the OI. Finish off the Bisc. And now we got the OI over here. We've lost 2 tanks and 2 tanks, so it's pretty even. You can see they've got 2 tanks coming up on the mini-map to attack our cap. One of our light tanks is heading them off. And we finish off the OI, so we're ahead here, but we don't know where their 2 heavies are. Slappy finishes off their light tank. They get the VK still coming. No idea where the heavies are, but they haven't been spotted, so we're in good shape here. We need to finish off this VK. And then we want to get on cap and see where Mellow Man is right behind that rock. When we get on cap, that's where we want to be, because we know those heavy tanks are not in the middle, and we know they're not on the River Road, so the only place they can come at us from is from the 1, 2, 3 line. And if we get on the cap hiding behind that rock, they can't shoot us from the sniper's nest on the BC-23. So we're all going to get on cap here, and you see one of their heavies is on cap now. And we just want to stay safe here. We don't know where their other heavy is. He could be coming back. We have no idea. But we have 3 on. They only have 1 on, so we're going to win this handily. And at the last second, you see they get the second one on, so we know we got this one. And good job by all. Now they separated their tanks, so they had 3 tanks defending, and they had 4 tanks on the other side. So pretty much we'd have been in good shape no matter which side we went, as long as we went in force. Again, a strategy, and don't separate your forces so much you can't support them. Now on to the special Slappies. Slappy's playing his Jumbo, his M4 A3E2 Jumbo. Very heavily armored medium tank. Also, I think he usually plays a derp gun. I'm not sure. I watched this video and I didn't notice any specific derp shots. Slappy has a very good game here. At the end, he's I think 1 on 5 or 6, and we'll see if he makes Kolobanovs or not. So Slappy, unlike a lot of people, actually likes to go play in the valley. He's worked out a position up here where he can take his tank and perform fairly well. And you see right off the bat, one of his teammates drowns himself. Thank you, that's always helpful. And Slappy is top tier in a 2-tier battle, with matchmaking just having been changed. Being 1 and 2 tiered is very much more common. And what amazes me here is Slappy makes these shots even though it's saying that it's red, so that he's not going to penetrate. And it looks like he's got very good gun depression. I don't know, I didn't look up the stats offhand to jump how good it's an American medium, so it might have decent. In general, the American tanks have better than the Russian tanks as gun depression. And Slappy's looking for targets, and he's going to poke out on the Skoda, and he gets artilleried, and I think he gets TD'd by the 60 GFT. Takes half his health, a little too aggressive there. So he's not going to poke again, I can tell you that. So now he's got up here with the Skoda, with the WZ. He's got a couple guys behind him, 2 TDs and the Chinu. And somebody finishes off the WZ. And if you take a quick look at the map, they're coming down the river road. Somebody managed to kill the Excelsior, but the Fury's still there. And Slappy takes a couple of blind shots here. He knows there's tanks back there. It doesn't hurt. He doesn't have shots on. He can't poke and take shots at the Skoda. So if he can take those shots into the blind bushes and either scare them or even occasionally hit them. And you see it blow up in the background. That means he didn't hit anything. Now looking at the mini-map, you look at the city, and the city is lost. They have 2 Hellcats between 4 tanks pushing in them. And one of those Hellcats dies, and Slappy decides he's going to go back and defend. Part of his decision here, there's enough tanks back there that they could maybe successfully defend the M4 and the 2 TDs, but Slappy's not able to do anything where he's currently at either. He can't legitimately push because of the TD and the RD, and there's just nowhere to go, so he might as well go back and defend. Takes a couple of peeks in case the Skoda was coming over. Now I know somebody's back there, so he's looking for them to poke. And this part of the game hasn't been particularly exciting, but the exciting part's coming up. So you got a PC4 Hydra, a Chinu on the one side, you got the Skoda on the other, and we know about that unspotted WZ and the RD were on the 1-2 line. We don't know where they've gone. And so the guys that we were looking at don't poke. The Skoda T40 and a Hellcat show up. Pay attention to that Hellcat. We got the Skoda, put a shot into him. What he's doing here, pushing around into like 2 TDs and the Jumbo, who knows. Try to shoot the Hellcat. Okay, there's a miss. That was not an easy shot, but really he could have made it. We don't know what happened. This 4 Hydra pokes out. He gets shot by somebody, not Slappy. Turn back to the Hellcat. And there's a shot. Okay, that's 2 misses. That might have hit the rock. He gets shot by the Chinu from behind. Gonna try to feather this one. It says green. No go. That's 3 misses. He's been missing, so he's going to push in. He's got 2 tanks on one side and 1 tank here, so he needs to push the lower side. Where did that shot go? That's 4 misses. And the Hellcats hit him. We got the Artie now. We're going to take him out. Almost take him out. Hellcat's got a good position. Turns back the turret just in time to bounce that. Turn around and take a shot into whatever, the 60 GFT that he owed. It's hit again. Takes up the Chinu that's running at him. The Hellcat's still shooting at him and bouncing. PZ4 Hydra that was coming in to rescue the Hellcat takes out him. Finally lands a shot on the Hellcat. We've missed 4, maybe 5 times. Now it's the Hellcat and the Artie. Boy, this is tense. Takes out the Artie. Oh, the Hellcat's in his favorite spot. Turns the turret. Oh, doesn't quite manage to block it. It was great fun. Slappy managed to get 3rd mark on that for that one. And
thank you for watching my Tier 6 skirmish videos. I hope that my insights and seeing the various positions on the map helps you to get better at this mode of the game. My favorite by far mode. I hope it helps you get better in everything except your battles against us. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. I try to get back to any comments that I actually see. Thank you.